Hey addicts, welcome back. We're here for Danmachi episode 4. This one's titled Aspirations Distant Dream, which, man, not a better title for this, might I say. Now, you may notice that Michael's not here, so tragedy that he was not feeling well, so it's just me today. But man, he picked a bad episode to sit out, I'll be honest, because this is really cool. It's more so, I think, cool for book readers, because there's a lot of, information that's dropped that, I mean, we already know, but it's kind of just cool to see, what people's reaction might be to that only watch the show. But again, if you're only watching the show or only seeing the story through the show, this is another setup episode, but it is probably the most important one we've seen so far, at least in my opinion, because we do get a lot of information that opens up the world, kind of fills it a little bit more. There's obviously a big direction change with smart monsters. So it's kind of diving in more deeper to that, giving you just the extent of that, I guess you could say, and what bearing it will have on Bell and his familia going forward, especially what we'll see later in the season. Just as well as, seeing more of the Xenos and just kind of their personality. I think this is the episode that will really solidify, people's probably connection to them, or having an investment to what might happen to them. And I think by the time we get to the end of the episode, we're left off at a really good point where things can start happening, because we've already left enough time for them. So I guess to go in, we can kind of go over some little bits of information that they release as we're going through the rundown of the episode, but and primarily just because, for some people, there might have been information that, wasn't worded the best through, the subtitles, or just, you may be confused on. So I'm here to shed some light on that as well. I just say, the start of the episode, great, loved it. I love just kind of the, what do we call it, the fake out, kind of perspective of them being all the monsters, like the Xenos being, being like what monsters typically we see, right? And the perception where they're just doing things that are craftier in the shadows, or just having a more, sinister look about them, but then revealing that, they're just getting the food and the drinks ready. I even love, it's a little moment that they do it twice. But I love it. It's Haruhime and Mikoto just sitting there trying to do their drinks, and then you just see all these little monster hands going and dinking their drinks, or handing them food. Love that. But this is there's two things that I'll save one that I noticed right off the bat, just because it kind of harkens back to later part of the episode. But the big thing at the start of the episode is we do get the first look and introduction of Gross, which is really cool. He's going to be a big character going forward, at least attached to the Xenos. And, he kind of has this, air about him that he's maybe a little bit closed-minded, or just, not very friendly towards people. But I think, given their circumstances, it's kind of rightly so, right? But really cool to see him for the first time. You also get Bell and his familia kind of filling in the information that we've already seen Aranos give Hestia. Just kind of, filling in the gap that obviously they're getting the same kind of information, so that, once we get out of this, everybody's caught up to speed. And also, I feel like that's probably just some information that they would be asking in this situation anyway, right? There is a moment where we get Aranos, continuing his talk with Hestia, and, they put images or scenes to keep the flow of the episode going while, he's talking to Hestia. But in those moments, there is a little, I call it an Easter egg, but it's really just, because they still show it. But for the books, there was a moment where Ray, the siren monster, sings, and I think if I'm not mistaken, that's where Mikoto and Hirohime kind of let their guard down about just the Xenos having a threat towards them, and that's when they're really able to open up and kind of connect with them a little bit better. And they kind of demonstrate that when you see them actually starting to dance with them, or sit around and talk to them. So I like that they incorporate that scene, even though it's not not as played out and originally you would see in the episode. So, with the talk with Oranos, Hestia gets, obviously the information about kind of the aspirations and dreams of the Xenos wanting to coexist with humans. I think we got a little bit into that in the last episode, but it was cool to them expand upon it. You get to see Fells also join with Bell and the rest of them down in the dungeon, and again, filling in some of those, just going into why they want to do that, what drives them, how the monsters have their own individuality. Really cool. I won't go into hashing too much of it because obviously if you've seen the episode, The other cool thing that we get is a glimpse at Hermes, that freaking dick. I hate him so much. But we get Hermes continuing his schemes. I'm going to keep it spoiler free here for the people that, are watching or want to have this surprise, but we do get the important information drop that Dix, the character that we've only seen a couple times. So if you're an anime-only watcher, he's the guy with the goggles and the long spear, and he is basically the human head of the Icolos Familia. But we get the drop of information that he is level 4. So where Bell's at right now. Let's see here. He's about to be. I was trying to think. Oh man. I believe he is level 2. No. He's level 3. I'm sorry. Yeah, I had to sit there and think about it, and I'm like, shit, what's the timeline again? But yeah, level 3. So, he's a considerable distance ahead of Bell. So, kind of teasing that underdog fight yet again that Bell's going to have to go up against. Speaking of Dix, you do get the first look of Dix and Gran and his entourage. And I like this, even though it's just a little bit of a moment. I think it's enough to see where they're going to be led by the end of the episode, as well as just, still giving you that little hint, a glimpse of how they're operating, what their mentality is. That, yes, they're selling monsters on the black market, and they're scheming because they're trying to make sure that not only do they lose the tail from Hermes, but also that the guild doesn't find out. But I do like how they, splinter that in a little bit there that, yeah, they're doing it for like the money in the market and everything like that, but they also just love doing this. They love the thrill of the hunt. They love going out and torturing these monsters, and then, seeing, the shrieks and all the other stuff that comes with, doing this to them. So, nice little sneak peek there. So the other thing we get too is, let's see here. Oh, we get the information that, Hermes, and not only Hermes knows about the Xenos, but also Ganesha Familia, and the connection back to what would be season 1 of the anime, with Monsterphilia being kind of the testing ground of trying to get the people of the surface warmed up to the idea of monsters being around them. And when when you read that in the books, it's such a like whoosh moment. It's kind of like with another scene that you get that will connect back to season 2, which I don't know if we'll see that by the end of this season, but it's just really cool when they get those connective tissues revealed to everybody. So that might be one that is. I mean, they blatantly say it, but I don't know how many people maybe remember season 1 if it's been a while. But just know that is kind of what they were going for there if for some reason you haven't been paying attention. But I get it. It's been a while since season 1 aired. But we also get more about Fells and his true identity and, kind of why he's tied in with the Xenos. I do love the Fells reveal. I got what I wanted when we were talking about the last episode. With him showing his big cranium skull and his blank face, or I guess I should say his bony complexion. But as well as, you get kind of the history background that he's been with the Xenos and Leto and such for 15 years, which, again, just more smaller little things, like that there's 40 Xenos currently, at least in the part that we see with Bell. There's these hidden save points that the Xenos use, and they call them hidden villages, and they kind of move around them from place to place nomadically to, not only take up the resources of the area, but also to stay away from possible parties or expeditions. Loki. So, those kind of things, again, really cool to see that they're, not only paying attention to, but, showing in the episode. You do get your first tease at the other Xeno up in the air that is the strongest out of the bunch, which I think I've name dropped it before, but I won't do it for the sake of this video. But really, really cool to hear about that. I was keeping my ears open for hearing the name, but we didn't hear the name yet. So, but still though, having that tease for later on is going to be really cool, and it's like the little cherry on top for this episode, at least in my opinion. Again, you know, some other little bits of information that me and Michael have probably already talked about before, and like all the book readers know. But like, for instance, in the show at the beginning, when before Ween even meets Belle, she is hurt and hunted by not only humans but monsters. But they kind of jump around in the editing of that, so you don't really see Ween getting attacked by monsters as well, even though we do see her injured. So again, this is kind of like information that most of us already know, but for you guys watching the show, this is probably like the only way you would know this information. And you know, that is probably one of the biggest, what would you call it, sympathy or sympathetic reasons for the Xenos, right? Because they really are just a small group of outcasts where they don't have a place amongst the humans or even other monsters. So that is something that, again, I think they display really well throughout the core of the episode. You know, just, you know, not only depicting how isolated the Xenos are, but also kind of the feelings centered around that, right? Now you do get, again, like the thing with, you know, the dungeon being the mother for these Xenos, and, you know, this kind of whole thing that they haven't even really touched on the books of, you know, is it the dungeon? Is it like the will of the dungeon that the Xenos are here? Or is it because of the monsters' like pent up emotions and just desires in itself that created them? And that's something that, you know, again, eventually when they get addressed to that material in the books, having this moment in anime, and then when that, you know, the continuation of that new information happens in the books, you know, we get to see that, you know, whatever season that'll probably be when I'm like 80. Just, you know, at the rate of everything's going. But still, a nice moment nonetheless. Now, to wrap this up, because I know it's already getting into that territory where this video might be too long for an episode one. But we also get, you know, well, they don't really go into the explanation very well, but this is kind of one of those information that I think, you know, if you're a show watcher only, you'll probably not catch this, but there's a line that Leto says to Belle right before they're about to leave, that they eat the magic stones for strength, and it's not just a substitute for food for them. It's actually the way that the Xenos level up and become, you know, like increase their stats. So that's just one little thing I wanted to clarify there for anybody that's just watching the show. But that's basically what he meant by that line. We also get the very important little moment between Leto and Belle at the end of the episode, or towards the end of the episode, that we talked about in, what was it, episodes 2 or 3, where Belle has trouble or a hesitation of killing monsters. And I do love that they kept this in and did show it, that, you know, Leto basically tells him, hey, you know, they attack us, and, you know, we have to do it to survive. You know, don't treat the monsters any differently. Kill the monsters without hesitation, because otherwise you'll die, and we don't want to see you die, because we want to see you again, which is heart to you too, Leto. But yeah, again, another great moment. We do get Ween having to, unfortunately, stay with the Xenos in the dungeon and be separated from Belle. And again, this is another great moment that I think was done and executed very well in the show, because that is kind of the first seed being planted of Belle's desire and aspiration for possibly, I'm gonna say it anyway because I think everybody sees it coming, but, you know, wanting to bring the Xenos dream true, or at least in this moment, probably more so, wanting to see Ween again, whether that's, you know, on the surface or back in the dungeon, just wants to see them again because he cares about them officially. So now the last 3 things, and then we'll wrap this up here. But we do get Renea, I think is how you say it. This I noticed at the beginning of the episode. We saw the spider Xeno, the spider lady, whatever you want to call her. Don't give me copyright, Marvel, for saying Spider something. But that's why I didn't say the other way. Yeah, we get a look at that. And at the beginning of the episode, I was like, is that just an Easter egg because of the cut scenes that we didn't get? Or are they remixing this? Or am I forgetting the order of things already? But I was keeping an eye on that. And we get to the last part of the episode where Ween's group is going to the next hidden village, and then her picking up the distress signals, I guess you could say, of another Xeno in trouble. So Renee and her group head there to answer the call. Leto telling them that it might be a trap, so don't go in there. They go in there anyway, and lo and behold, it is an ambush set up by Dix, Gran, and the other Icarus Familia. So I don't know if they're remixing this, because again, like, it's been a while since I've read that book, so maybe it was always lined up to this moment, but I feel like it was remixed in a way. But this would be a great opportunity to remix it and still get the scenes I think are important, because just in the small interaction we saw with Dix and the Xenos in this last moment of the episode, I am through the roof basically seeing, because like my mind's just going to work like there's a great way to show this, or even if they don't go to the extent of what it is in the books, show it enough that this is going to still be a worthy build-up for Dix and the rest of the quote-unquote bad guys that we're going to see Belle go up against later in the season. But with that being said, everything was really cool. Really liked the episode. I think this might be the best one yet in this season. I'm not going to say in the show ever, but I think this is my favorite episode in the season so far. And with things just now able to kick off, and I would assume, I didn't see the preview for the next episode, but next episode is probably going to have the starting of things happen. So, there's always the opportunity of it getting better, and the next episode being the next best one. But for right now, I think this was a great execution of not only the source material, but just as an episode in the season in general. So that will conclude this episode review discussion, whatever you want to call it. And hopefully Michael will be back for the next week. In addition to next week's episode, we do have the Freya light novel series, it's the Familia Myth second volume, which is focusing on Freya and Freya Familia. That's going to be dropping Tuesday, I believe. So, give us a little bit of time, but by the end of the week, or maybe a week after its release, we'll have a video talking not only about the volume and what we thought about it, but also a full-fledged review. So do check that out. Or come back and check out when you check out the next episode, or, just after you read the book. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Hope you have a great day. And as always, peace, addicts.